Living Title IX with Betsy. That's me. But today I have some absolutely amazing special guests with us. We are going to spend today talking through kind of culture, campus culture, district culture, and why it's so important to have buy-in across the board, not just with your Title IX team. So we're going to talk through all of that with our awesome guests. I just want to highlight here that there are a couple of other things that are going to go along with this. You should be on the lookout for a blog about these things from the amazing Brittany and Michaela. Spoiler, that's who's with me. And the prevention series that's happening in the month of April, they will be presenting a whole training on this specific topic. So lots to come in this area, but I'm going to let you all introduce yourself, and then I'll start with a quick question to get us off.
Awesome. Well, we're so excited to be here and have this conversation with our community today, Betsy. So my name is Brittany Gates. I am a Title IX and Equity Specialist at ICS, and I spend a lot of my work time serving as an interim Title IX coordinator for higher education.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaela Bland. I am a Title IX and Equity Specialist and attorney at ICS, and I'm a little bit of Brittany's opposite. So while she hangs out with higher education, I spend a lot of my time with K through 12 and have served as interim coordinators for some K through 12 districts. So I am really excited to be here today and kind of talk about this really important topic.
Amazing. Y'all are bringing such a wealth of knowledge to our community and everyone who's watching Living with Title IX out there. So I think let me start by saying this. When we think about Title IX, when we train on Title IX, we really start with our Title IX team. And we've started referring to our coordinator as wearing that crown and kind of being the king or queen over all things Title IX. And we really need to be thinking about not just that team, but also everyone in our districts and in our campuses, and why it matters that everyone is really just kind of on the same page. So I'm going to throw this out there for y'all, and you can go, but I just talk to me a little bit, or talk to us just a little bit about why it's so important that everyone on our campus or in our district, and parents and guardians, understand Title IX and are working in the same direction.
I love this thought, and I think Michaela and I could talk about this for much longer than this segment of Living Title IX. Why it is so important, I think the shortest way for me to say it is that, prevention is everyone's responsibility, right? It is a community effort. It is a campus-wide, a district-wide, a school-wide effort. And I think part of what where we see challenges maybe with buy-in is just a lack of knowledge and a lack of understanding, or something feels out of their lane, or they don't understand what it looks like, right? And so conversation, education, transparency, all of those things can enhance understanding. I think understanding enhances buy-in, and that, again, speaks to the larger community.
Absolutely.
I think that's so important. And to this point, like you said, Betsy, it's so much more than the Title IX team. We need buy-in from all these important stakeholders: students, parents, the community, our teachers, our employee and staff. And in order to kind of have them feel empowered to want to buy into this, I think a lot of it stems down to education and what that education looks like for each important group. And I will say you're going to see some key differences when you're educating individuals at the K through 12 level versus the higher ed, which is great that you have both Brittany and I, because we are going to be able to give you some really great tips and tricks on how to educate these key stakeholders at those specific levels as well, to increase your buy-in and make this more of a community effort and not just fall on the Title IX team. Even though we know that crown is heavy, we do want to share some of the weight.
Yeah, wow. Thank you all. That is so helpful. I think when I hear you talk, one of the things that I often think to myself is kind of a disassociation with it. Like, if I don't acknowledge it, it means it's not happening. And so what our goal and your goal, I think, is going to be is that we're going to make sure that kind of the opposite happens. So do you have any thoughts? I'll go with you, Michaela. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, so you will soon find out what a big nerd I am. Okay, and so I am going to just spend, I promise, 10 seconds about the importance of identifying trends and barriers. And so this comes through data collection. And, I think it's this notion that we think when we receive reports, even at a K through 12 or higher ed level, that we've done something wrong and that something bad is happening on our districts and in our campuses. And that's not necessarily the case. We like reports because reports allow us to look at the trends, to look at the data and identify where these barriers are occurring, where this dissociation is occurring, so that we can collectively think of measures together in order to not only increase access, which is the hallmark of Title IX, but also increase that buy-in to our community and to our really important stakeholders. So that is one thing that we're definitely going to talk about, as well as I'll switch to Brittany to kind of speak about bystander intervention a little bit.
Yeah. And I think to speak to that point as well, one of the things we want to challenge you to think through is, what is your district and campus narrative when it comes to Title IX, and what has spoken to that narrative, right? If you were to ask somebody or do like a loose survey, Betsy loves a survey, loves a poll. And I know why, because it gives us so much information. And so how do we understand those narratives that have been written about Title IX and work to use education, information, data to inform those perspectives more accurately? And when we do that, we start to get people who were hesitant, who were unsure, to really buy into the mission. And I think one simple tool in education, I love talking about bystander intervention. It's one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to prevention work. I also think it is just very research-based and effective tool to preventing sexual harassment, right? We are tasked with responding when we receive reports, but we also have goals of prevention-minded thinking. And so when we have the opportunity to do this prevention series, we're going to talk through bystander intervention as a tool, as something that you can use to get your community all working together, because we really are all in this together. The students in your district, the employees, the faculty that you're working with, everybody at various levels. And so bystander intervention is a way that even outside of sexual harassment or concerns of Title IX, we learn tools that say, if I want to step in and say something and do something, how can I do that in a meaningful way that's going to positively impact a potentially negative situation? It gives tools that let people feel like they have an avenue to be bought in and to help. And so I can't wait to break that down further.
How we are all such nerds. Let's just acknowledge it right now. But one other thing that I just want to highlight, you all like breezed perfectly into this for me, but at ICS, we are working, and I am working actually really hard on getting out a training for our K-12. So that's going to be a prevention training and a bystander training. Like, how do we expect our students to respond when things are happening in front of them? What are the rules? What are the expectations? And what happens if, in fact, you find yourself in that situation? So beautifully just sent us right into that. But I think it is something so important. Obviously, we're talking about it in your training, and then we're working to bring that and bring everyone together with a common understanding through those resources that we're going to be providing at ICS. So awesome. Ladies, I am so grateful for you for taking this time to just talk through this with me. And I'm really excited actually to attend your training as an attendee. It's going to be awesome. One thing, or a couple of things actually, before we close out, I want to point out the fancy little mug and our amazing mugshot for this week. We have our newest Mugshot Club member, and we are so excited to share this every week with you all and highlight our amazing community, those of you who have been with us for a long time or who are new to the ICS difference. And if you hashtag Mugshot on any of the platforms, whether that's YouTube or LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, on our accounts, we will get you one of these. And in return, we hope you will share a lovely picture of yourself holding our awesome mug so that we can highlight you and your commitment to Title IX. All right, let's wrap this up. We've been going for a little bit longer than normal today, so I just want to remind you all the things. Make sure you're laughing at yourself, supporting each other, and celebrating those small victories. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week.